Hello, dear listener.
Oh, hey, pals. This is Greg here.
This is Daniel. You may not be used to hearing us without a 4-minute nonsensical thing before and a theme song, but here we are.
We've just finished writing an intro that took 5 hours, and we are as tired as it can be at 1:30 in the morning, so hello, how are you?
We're here. Good morning. We're here shaving days off of our life to give a little explanation to you of what you're about to hear.
Last summer,
may be shocking.
Last summer, we were invited to go to the Petersen Museum for our first...
Was it last summer already?
It was hot. I remember that. That's how I bumped my mark. Like, was I hot for that? Yeah, my windows were open. We were invited for our first field trip episode to go to the Petersen Automotive Museum, which is on Fairfax in Wilshire, right outside where Biggie was shot. Murdered.
Just follow Biggie's ghost and you'll find it.
The big red building that has a lot of kind of wavy look to it. It's a really great museum, but you'll hear
all about that. This is the first of our field trip episodes where we go out to places around the city and we ask a set 12 questions to a person who works or is affiliated with that place. And they answer them. And if they
sometimes
don't,
out of order.
Sometimes they get out of line. I mean, I'm not naming names. We've only done one episode, but you know who you are. Yeah, it was nice meeting this person, and we like them. Yeah. Since this is our first one, the sound quality is not so great. You can still understand it, but it's not up to the usual LA Meekly standard.
Which means Daniel has not thrown a hissy fit quite yet over it and yelled at me at 3 a.m. He can't figure out some robotic device.
The night's still young. These robots won't do my bidding. Greg,
they're not subservient to me. Make it listen.
I, robot. How about me, robot?
It's all you, robot, in here.
The sound quality will be better from now on. We're still tweaking the exact questions we're going to, because we want to keep it a set, same questions we ask everybody to have some continuity. Also, you're going to hear our new field trip theme song.
That's
Thank you to Alberto Sistos for recording that.
Fantastic young man. Beautiful long hair.
Not so young, okay? We're all getting up there. He's 90.
We'd also like to apologize for how long this took to come out.
Yeah, it took a very long time. You know what? We don't need to make any apologies.
Yeah, no,
this is free.
We were waiting for a new theme song, which we didn't need to schedule, and then also we have a lot on our plate sometimes, so we apologize for the wait. We've been talking about our field trip episodes for, I don't know, it feels like before last summer. I don't know. I cannot remember how that works.
Yeah, well, like you know what? Everybody can kiss my grits.
You all drive turkeys.
All right, that's enough of this. So it's a brief little thing. We hope you enjoy it, and welcome to the Petersen Automotive Museum. Hit it! Okay, how long have you lived in LA?
My name is Ada.
You were given one question.
You had one job to ask me my name. And my name is Ada.
Hi, Ada.
Hello.
And I work at the Petersen. I know that was one of your questions, but I work at the Petersen Automotive Museum.
You're skipping right over all these questions.
We forgot to put them in order. That was a problem.
Now that we know that, how long have you lived in LA?
I've lived in LA until 7th grade, and then we moved to the most boring place in California, the high desert, which is in the Inland Empire. Yes. It takes me like 10 minutes to drive to In-N-Out, which is the worst.
I didn't know people got out of there. I thought once you were there, you were there.
We were just there.
Yeah,
but we have an In-N-Out, which is great.
Okay.
We actually have 3 In-N-Outs, so I'm set. But I still have to drive to those locations.
That poor thing.
Yeah, but then once I finished community college, 2 years there, I came back. And I'm at UCLA. Go Bruins.
Yeah. We do not endorse.
We don't support anything.
Yes, we do.
We're done here. This interview's over.
I wore blue and yellow for you.
I was wearing crick colors.
Yeah, so I'm finishing my undergrad right now at UCLA. I'm about to be a senior.
And you're in art history, you said?
Art history major, yeah.
Okay. So I guess we know where we are now. Someone's skipping around the question. So tell us why exactly you're at the museum right now.
So the Getty Foundation does internships for undergrads all over the LA area, and they have some that are on the site, either the Getty Center or the Villa, and I wanted to work at either one of those. Yeah. But they rejected me.
You want to get a dig in?
They sent me a rejection letter.
Oh, that's sweet of them.
And it was like the day where they were supposed to evaluate all the applications.
Oh, okay.
That same day they sent me a rejection letter. I was like, did you even look at me?
How do you feel about cars?
Well, and that's actually another funny story how I landed this internship. So they have, if you don't get the ones in the Getty, you still have a chance to apply to the LA-based ones. So I applied to LACMA, MoCA, all the other museums except for the Petersen. How did I get this internship? Let me tell you. So I applied to LACMA, and since LACMA is right across from the Petersen, which is
It
to
got lost in
explain
the
to
mail.
people who don't know the Petersen, it's that big weird building in the corner of Fairfax. I've heard people say that looks like a Red Bull and a Coke can squished together and just lines.
I believe I said the theme of the building is bad vibrations, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay.
Tell us why is it red again?
So Petersen's wife, Margie, she had red hair and she was an actress or model. Her red hair was iconic, not as iconic as Lucy's, but so the Petersen, when they originally chose the color, they chose the color red, and they thought of Margie.
Oh, that's sweet.
They decided to name the color Margie Red.
I like that.
You guys should do a whole episode on
We
that.
should, on hair colors.
That's Margie's head.
Famous hair colors of Los Angeles.
So to get back to my story, I applied to LACMA for their 2 positions that they had, and one of them was education and public programs. And all of a sudden, like 2 weeks later, I got an email from the Petersen, my supervisor right now, and she was like, "Hey, LACMA sent me your resume. Like, we were wondering if you want to have an interview with us." And I was like, "Oh, it's Petersen." I've never even heard of this place. So I checked it out. I did research, and I was like, I need to find out what this museum is because I need to know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah,
That color.
What is that name? So I came to the interview, fell in love with them. Like instantly, our personalities matched, and I didn't think of anything. I was like, "Oh, it's just another interview. Probably not even just proves to show I have no hope in life." But they called me a few days later, and they're like, "We really liked you, and so we want to give you this internship." And I was really excited. But at first, I was like, "This is a car museum, something completely out of my language and study range." But so far, it's been, I don't know if that's your next question, but I've been here for 8 weeks now. 7, 8 weeks.
How long have you been here?
I have been here for 7 to 8 weeks. I lost count. But the program is only 10 weeks.
Okay.
So I know I have like 3 weeks left, I think. I don't want to count down the days. It's going to be so sad.
You get to choose a car when you leave, right?
Yeah, definitely. I wish.
Give me the Corolla. Oh, no.
DeLorean, I should take that.
You should. You're not going to
Then
make
you
it
can go back to the
Of
beginning
my internship.
and get another car when you finish that.
We're different people. I was thinking my internship, but okay.
I will stand on the clock tower for you and try to connect the thing to the electrical cord just for you.
You guys.
I'll run into a pile of manure.
Are you guys trying to seduce me right now?
You like manure?
I'm single and ready to mingle.
That's the only part that's going to come on this episode.
So here is the next question. What is this place's role in the city?
Cars.
Yep.
And the history of cars.
Yeah,
And
car
that's
culture is big
such
here.
A huge thing in
Yeah.
Los Angeles. I don't know if you've noticed the freeways and how they're packed with cars.
We're talking about the band.
There is a lean in the museum of like LA-based stuff, which is really cool. I thought a lot of like car culture
Everything, yeah.
and the
It's
freeway
all-
system. Yeah.
Whole interactive thing on that top floor of like, this is where this started. This car was
Oh,
going
that's
on
right.
there.
Yeah, the AAA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing here? Is it us?
What's the
Of
two most
course.
important things here?
Of course. I think the car names were Daniel. They're new models.
They're new ones. No one looks at them much.
They're in the vault. The most important thing of this museum, is it specific to an object or just in general?
Whatever.
You know,
I think-
yeah, that's it. Hey, this is the first time we're doing this. It could be in general, like what
In general,
the
yeah.
idea of like what idea is more
Yeah.
the most
Yeah, I
important
think
thing.
the history of the cars
Yeah.
in Los
Yeah.
Angeles, that's the most important thing.
Capturing,
Because,
that,
yeah.
chronicling that.
Yeah.
Coming in here, I knew nothing about cars, and then I started realizing that a lot of people take it, well, they don't take it for granted, but they don't really think about the history of
Yeah.
cars or how traffic even started. That's a whole story
Yeah.
within itself.
We got to experience that on the way coming.
First time.
It's interactive in the real world.
Want to experience traffic?
Brought to you by the Petersen Museum.
We put it at the corner of Wilshire and Fairfax, where the most traffic is you'll ever find.
So you're welcome.
Here's another question. What's your favorite thing here?
I got asked that last week.
Really?
And I still don't know what the answer
Well,
is.
we weren't here last week.
Somebody else named Daniel and Greg asked me.
Them again.
I keep hearing about them.
Your doppelgangers. I think being a huge Back to the Future fan, obviously the DeLorean.
Amen.
I would like to go on the record that Daniel ran towards the car when he saw it across the room.
Did he scream?
I screamed, "Great Scott!"
What would LA be like without this place?
Still with traffic.
Less traffic, but
But
people would be coming here.
they would miss out on the history, definitely.
There aren't a lot of spots in California to honor that much car history.
Yeah.
There's the
Yeah.
Train Museum in Burbank.
Yeah.
George Barris has his shop, which has like 4 or 5 of his cars. This is a nice display of different types.
Yeah, you're right. I think people like me, I would certainly take it for granted of how big, how cars made LA. This is pretty much the only place that's devoted to, not devoted to that, but has a big part of their museum talking about
And
that.
I think, in case people don't know, but the museum went on a huge renovation, and we're just 8 months old, starting again after 20 years. The one back then,
Still wearing diapers.
8 months, getting up in the middle of the night.
Blackma has to rock it to bed.
Anyway,
Please.
so,
Welcome to the podcast.
I feel like I fit right on. We're good. Before this whole renovation, it was just like a streetscape of the cars and their context. It had no, it just had the history of what the car looks like around the surroundings, with the surroundings. But I think this new museum does a great job displaying that history that many people didn't really catch in the first 20 half.
That's what you were saying. You like the layout, how
Yeah,
it's laid out.
I like the way it's laid out. The 3 floors it's done so perfectly where you get the
Themed,
history. Themed. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
The space between everything gives you enough room to kind of comfortably move from one thing to the next. I like that a lot.
And your insider tips start at the 3rd floor, work your way down.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for giving us that.
Yeah. People don't do that. It gets said so explicitly.
They get stuck in the parking lot and think they're in the museum.
I think they're in the vault. Is this Honda Civic?
Oh yeah, tell us about that vault.
Okay, so the vault is a garage in the lower level. So admission is $15. The parking is $12, which is
There's a lot of buses
it's
around
on your
here.
pocket.
Yeah.
It's on your pocket.
Yeah.
And then above that, if you want a tour of the other cars in the lower level, because you can't see it, the public can't see it unless you purchase a tour. There's like more than 150 or 80 cars displayed that sometimes alternate between the ones that are on display in the museum. Like they would bring one down and then they would bring another one up. But we have cars down there, like I was mentioning earlier, the Pope car. I don't know why that sticks to me. The Pope blessed it, so it's like, it's holy.
It's a saint.
But what's funny is that it's next to like a communist car. It has like the Russian flag. And it's like, oh my
It's
God.
next to the Antichrist minivan.
This juxtaposition. I don't like this. There's also the Grease Lightning car.
Oh, is it really?
Really?
George Barris did. I forgot to mention
wow.
that. There's a lot, and I definitely recommend splurging that extra
We'll be
$25.
back.
Yeah, we'll be back.
I work down there in the offices, so sometimes when I want a break, I just
Just go sit in the Pope Mobile and eat lunch.
my lunch break. Yeah.
I cry in the Knight Rider car.
What's wrong with you?
Can I help?
What's the strangest thing that's ever happened here?
Aside from Biggie, being shot.
Yeah, that's that.
Let's glance over that.
That's old news. I think the strangest thing for me,
Yeah.
like I wasn't here when obviously Biggie was shot.
She was. She wasn't in here because she was in the
An Impala.
So we also have a discovery room.
And which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's all based off the Cars movies.
Pixar cars, yeah.
There was a kid that was giving, it's a kid's space, but there was a kid that was giving other kids surrounding him a hard time where he was wanting to take the toys that they were playing with. And I was kind of like nudging him like, yeah, we have this toy here, like come here. And then his parents were just not paying attention to him. And I'm like, your kid is screaming and yelling and disturbing these other families that are in here, and they would just like leave out of the room and leave the kid inside, and I'm like, this isn't a daycare, like you have to keep your kid with you. And so finally, last attempt, I was like, there's a car that you can sit in, or like seats. I told him, it's a car. I was like, there's seats that you can sit in. It's like if we were inside a car, let's go see it. And I guided him and I took him to that Maserati.
Yeah.
There's a Maserati I said that too.
Not to brag, but
But I have a Maserati.
What is that, Italian? So I was like, go leave. And I pushed him out. And then I was like, oh, thank God that's over. So then I came back to the desk, and all of a sudden I hear the kid yelling. And he's like, Mommy, Daddy. And I look up. So behind the Lightning McQueen, we also have Lightning McQueen.
I keep
you
bragging.
Guys saw, not to brag, right? There's the Viper, the
Yeah.
red Viper.
I think I see where this is going, and it makes me
Kid
nervous.
was inside the Viper. And I look up and I'm like, whoa. And I ran towards him. The dad was still in the seats, the Maserati section. And I go and grab the dad, and I'm like, your son is in a car. He is not supposed to be in a car.
Does he have a license?
Is he even like age limit to drive? He was like 4.
Your son's been drinking. You gotta go buy that car.
So the father comes, and I was expecting him to like pull the kid out from the seat. He leans on the door, and he's like, what are you doing there? You need to get out. You can't be in there. Yeah. And I can tell he was taking advantage too, because he wanted to see the inside of the car. And I'm like, and he was just leaning on that.
I gotta climb in and get my kid.
And I'm like, you've been here for like a minute. Take the kid away. There's no security. Luckily, one of the persons that's working that space, he just came back from his lunch. I was covering his lunch. Lunch is 30 minutes. All of this happened in 30 minutes. So he comes and I point to him and I'm like, the kid, like, get him out of there. And he rushes and he runs and he's like, sir, like, your kid can be in there. And he tries to call the security desk. The security was down because somebody had fainted on the first floor.
Wow. That was a diversion so they could get in the Viper.
It was all planned by a 4-year-old. No security on the floor. So I call my other supervisor, and she's in charge of the car's mechanical space. I explained everything. I was like, there's a kid inside. There's no security. What do I do? And apparently my coworker saw a scratch on the Viper. And I told her, I was like, there's a scratch.
Oh, no.
And my supervisor was just like, okay, let me think about this.
My kid's been mowing the lawn outside the Petersen for a year now, trying to make up for that. Trying to pay that off. Why did Lackman do this?
That little kid, Steve McQueen. That must be why all the doors are locked on the cars now. We tried them all.
We tried them all.
We really wanted to be in the Batmobile.
That Maserati used to be open. Now it's closed. All because of him. Yeah, so that's did you say strangest thing?
I would say strangest.
I would consider that
strange. That's pretty strange.
Strangest, and all within like 10 minutes.
It sounds like a heist movie.
Yeah, the vault also sounds super Gone in 60 Seconds. Like that's how the Petersen started.
Yeah.
We just started stealing cars, and now we're doing a museum out of it.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for acknowledging.
Well done, Greg. So here's a new question. What's this place's best kept secret?
I'm just an intern.
You're right.
That's the secret.
And
Be an
that's-
intern.
I run the place.
I mean, I've seen things. The one car that I keep hearing that's like amazing and like people keep talking about it is the Bugatti Delahaye, one of those two. It's right behind you, like baby blue, right behind this one actually. Until I found out a couple days later that it actually wasn't what it was, what they originally said it was.
We're getting the
Skeptical. We're getting skeptical.
I got lied to. This one museum's lying.
None of these cars are real. They're all inflatable.
All plastic.
Take a bite out of them.
So that one was made by, I think, a French, even though it sounds Italian to me. He originally designed it to be out of magnesium and something.
Okay.
So when they were putting the parts together of the car, they couldn't really weld it. So what they did was that they sort of stapled it together. That's why you see the ribs. They call it ribs. It's behind this. You'll see it later.
It's like a picture of it.
It has like this straight line right down the middle, and it looks like it was bolted down because since they couldn't use any.
Oh, don't go too fast; it'll fall apart.
Yeah, since they couldn't use any fire sparks, like.
Magnesium like explodes.
Yeah, and then so there's only 2 left in this world, and one of them is owned by Ralph Lauren, and one of them is here.
Wow, that's really cool.
And so I was like, oh, cool, like this is magnesium, like it's original. I think the one that Ralph has is the magnesium one.
Of course you would have that.
But they really liked the style a lot, so they did it with another one that's not.
That's probably the best.
Well, Ralph Lauren has been saying.
I think that would be. I know there's probably more, but that was my favorite one.
When's the best time to come here?
From 10 to 6.
Which is when you're open?
Anytime.
Any day of the week.
Anytime. Any day of the week. Robin, I was going to say 24 hours. No, from 10 to 6, 7 days a week.
Okay.
So every day.
Every day.
So you have no excuse.
Yeah.
You hear that, Los Angeles?
We're not closed. We're
not the kind of place that closes.
And we're not closed on Mondays like Getty.
Where should you park to come here?
The Petersen parking lot.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or the Lackma parking lot, or the Dislabrea tar pits.
Park in the tar pits.
Yeah.
You know where those
Keep it in
elephants
neutral.
are?
So here's the last question. What's the best place to eat around here?
The food trucks.
Oh, that's right. We're right on Wilshire.
Yeah.
I saw
right
all of them
from
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only have 30 minutes of lunch, so when I go, I usually tell people like, I only have 10 minutes. Please.
But as we know, a lot can happen in 30 minutes.
Apparently.
Well, that's our interview. This was our first one. Thank you for getting us in here.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for doing this. It was a joy.
It was. Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome.
And now I'm gonna kill you.
And now, Ella Meekley's over. I'm taking over.
This was the backdoor pilot. All right, now how do you stop this?
All right, stop this crazy thing.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that little trip to the Petersen Automotive Museum with Ada G. Ruiz.
It was a lot of fun. You had something to follow up with?
Yeah, she didn't feel satisfied with the answer she gave about the best kept secret, so she sent us a message afterwards saying she asked some of the coworkers what the best kept secret was, and everyone agreed that it was a 1978 Mercedes-Benz 600 that belonged to Saddam Hussein. They have all the paperwork, everything documenting that it was his car, but they don't like to publicize that very much. I can't imagine why.
What? Terrorist attacks? What?
I mean, what did he do? 9/11? He didn't do that.
You could follow Ada on Instagram. She said that's okay to do. Ada G. Ruiz, ADAGRUIZ. You can follow Petersen Museum also on Instagram. Petersen Museum, PETERSEN Museum. I'm not going to spell it for you. They're also on Facebook, Petersen Automotive Museum. You can follow them there. They're on Twitter at Petersen_museum. February 22nd, they're having a curator talk, but you can't go to that because you're going to come to our live event. Thank you very much.
Yes, which we will plug right now.
After this, sorry. February 26th, they're having a Enzo Ferrari's birthday cruise-in, which invites Ferrari enthusiasts to come and check out some of the fastest, rarest, and most beloved Ferraris, which if you're into
Those
that,
are the
go
only
for it.
types of Ferraris I like.
I want the most rarest kind.
Give me the Enzoist. Well, here's a few of our things,
That's right.
the usual stuff. Leave us a review on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at LA Meekley. Like us on Facebook.
We're on Instagram, LA_Meekley.
Our homepage, lameekley.tumblr.com.
That's right.
If you want to be on one of these sorts of episodes, if you like what you heard, you thought, hey, they didn't harass her too much, I wouldn't mind being not harassed.
Hey, they didn't steal anything. That's odd. I thought they would.
I bought a cup.
You did buy a cup.
I love it.
I wanted you to buy me a cup and you wouldn't, and I'm still kind of...
I bought a cup for you and I smashed it in front of you just for your insolence and for your insulin.
I had to hold that hot chocolate in my hands like a regular chump.
Yeah, so if you want to be on one of these episodes, if you work at a place like this or anything like that, send us an email or on anything, but an email, la.meekley@gmail.com. And just as a reminder, our live show is coming up on February 22nd.
The Comedy Central stage at the Hudson Theater, which is in Hollywood. It's free. You just have to make reservations. It seats 99 seats. So let's fill those things up.
Fill them up.
Fill
them
them
up. Build that wall. Fill them up.
It blends so well together. Nobody's going to notice that they've been building a wall this whole time. Yeah.
By the time this comes out, there will be links everywhere on our social media of how to get those tickets.
Also, Daniel and I were guests on a podcast, Bleak and Review, from Kevin Anderson and Matt Brousseau. It's a very funny podcast where we play characters.
We play two characters. It has nothing to do with LA history, but you may enjoy it.
Yeah, if you like us, you might like that.
Yeah. So give them a listen. Bleak in Review.
That's weird. A pun title? I don't care for that much.
I declare war. A war of thumbs. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a nuclear war.
I wasn't prepared. I brought thumbs to a nuclear war.
You brought a thumb to a knife fight. We hope you liked our first of these field trip episodes. Hopefully there will be a lot more to come.
Hopefully we get to meet you on our field trip episodes.
All of you.
Every single one of you. I'm going to meet you. I'm going to say no thank you, and I'm going to leave.
No. Pass.
Nope.
Not this one.
I'll shake your hand and I'm be polite about it, but then I'm going to turn around and
I
leave.
won't. I'm going to spit on you. Yeah, that was a nice little mid-month surprise for you of this field trip episode. Stay tuned at the beginning of next month when our feature-length episode comes out. We miss you. We love you.
Hope you've been getting those letters that we've been sending you.
I forgot to mail them. Okay, so that has been a field trip episode of LA Meekley, waiting to release this episode since 2013. Good night.
Go to bed now.